Our soccer clubs are already making plans for next season, and Torquay United in particular are clearly facing up to the realities of relegation. Following the resignation of Yugoslav Ivan Galatz, United have confirmed the speculation and named Youth Development Officer Paul Compton as their new boss. Compton's appearance at this morning's press conference was hardly a surprise, but it does signal a dramatic change in direction at Plainmoor.
Now, we've had two appointments this season, Justin Fashanu and Ivan Galatz, both top-class players, manager. That failed to turn the people out, so we've decided that we mustn't, in fact, fall for the gimmick again, and let's go for somebody that we genuinely believe, and the board talked about this for great length. We genuinely believe that Compton is the man.
There's already talk of swinging cuts and possible part-time football next season, but it seems United will try and retain the services of star striker Justin Fashanu, who could take on more coaching responsibilities with what's bound to be a younger squad. New manager Compton, the latest in a long line to take that magical touchline stroll with the chairman, is understandably talking up the club's prospects, but won't make any rash predictions.
I'm not making any promises. I'll promise them that the side that I feel will play for Torquay United. And they'll be playing for passion and be proud to put their shirts on. That's how I've always played throughout my career, and especially for Torquay United. And I promise them that the side that I field next year will be proud to put a Torquay United shirt on.
We wish him Kelly. Torquay find themselves back in the basement after just one season in the higher grade, and new manager Paul Compton faces a tough task reinstating a little confidence after the failure of the Ivan Galatz era. But the goal's young pretender has promised to retain the best elements of that regime while integrating a few ideas of his own.
My belief is that the English game has got very much into a robot system. I want to get into the lads that if they're capable of beating 2 or 3 players, I think they should have the confidence to go out and do that. And let's face it, we're an entertainment, and I think we should start putting a little bit more entertainment on the fields.
Compton's resting his hopes on Adrian Foster, a shrewd buy from West Bromwich Albion. The striker's no-nonsense style was clearly displayed at Weymouth last week, his persistence earning this penalty. Well, Torquay start their season at Crewe.
A dreadful start for Torquay too, the longest of long balls, setting up the opener for Crewe's Craig Hignett after 25 minutes. And it was Hignett again 10 minutes later. Not for the first time in the game, Torquay caught on the break when they were doing all the attacking. In the second half, another double strike, this time for Phil Clarkson. Crewe 3 up after 54 minutes. And 4 up after 60. Slack defensive work, but great coolness from Clarkson. The agony wasn't over for Torquay. New signing Adrian Foster sent off for his second bookable offence. Well, Torquay responded at last. Justin Fashanu beating keeper Dean Greygoose with a belated piece of luck. And just before the end, a bout of pinball led to a goal for Dwayne Darby. Final score, Crewe 4, Torquay United 2.
Saved. These two teams ran out 3 times together last season to play in cup games. The score then was 2 wins to Hereford, 1 to Torquay. Things have changed since then. Both have new managers. While Paul Compton is steering his team from the bench, Hereford's player coach Greg Downs directs operations out on the field. So their view of this opening incident was totally different. Compton was amazed to see the referee award an indirect free kick, ruling that Aaron Davis's slice clearance was a back pass. And of course, under the new rule, keepers can't pick the ball up. They argued, but no point. Downs was delighted, of course, to have a free go at goal. He directed operations himself, but the plan and his shot backfired. Hereford, though, had Torquay running for cover in the first half, should have taken the lead from this move. The setup came from former Plymouth man Owen Pickard. Lucky for Matthew Lowe, Simon Brain was way off target. But Torquay were in all sorts of trouble just before half-time. 2 goals in a minute sent them rocking. Both came from Pickard, the boy from Barnstaple, who Peter Shilton let go for free. He could be worth a few pounds if he carries on like this. His second goal in 2 games. His third came seconds later. The Torquay defence flat-footed. Pickard was ready and waiting to make it 2-0. Just before half-time, we saw the United attack for the first time. Well, it was Wes Saunders helping out with the header, which brought the best out of Alan Judge. In the second half, it was all change. Torquay got it together. A double substitution made the difference. Dwayne Darby fired the first warning shot. And Justin Fashanu, the first goal, just as he did at Crewe on Saturday. That did the trick. The Hereford heads dropped, Torquay started a charge, and it was all out for the equaliser. Joyce was inches away with a header. But with 10 minutes to go, Derby did it. Another set piece, another high ball, a scramble, and the equaliser. To all it finished, here's the manager's verdict.
Well, I was very disappointed to go down 2-0 down at half-time, obviously, because I thought we just ran the game. But it happened again on Saturday against Crewe, and we just got to start working on things. And I think what's happening is that we've got so much attack in play, and our defence starts to go to sleep a little bit. I think I saw one of them pop round for a bag of chips earlier.
What about the goals you scored?
Oh, our set pieces we're dangerous at set pieces. When you've got the likes of Wes Saunders and Justin Fashanu to it, we are very dangerous there, and I think although I like to see more goals come out of our general play, where we are dictating most of the play, I'm very confident that most set pieces we might come away with something.
So much for Torquay. What of the Hereford hero, young Owen Pickard, their new scoring delight from Devon?
Yeah, well, this, one in the eye for me. He's on my doorstep and he's come up to Hereford and he's done very well, and I wish the lad all the very best. I love to see young kids come out of the area and put one on your local team or the local rivals in that area. So I wish the lad all the very best. He took his goals very well, and that's what he's there for. Good luck to him.
Were Plymouth wrong to let you go on a free transfer?
Well, I don't think I can really answer that question. It was their decision to release me, so that's all I could do. I could just find myself another club, and I'm at Hereford. I'm pleased to be here.
And what about those goals tonight you scored?
Well, yeah, pleased again with the goals. Strikers thrive on crosses in the 6-yard box, and you got to put them away. All it needs is a touch, and they go in.
So now it's all down to the second leg at Plainmoor next week.
Well, it's going to be great. I think Hereford and Torquay are good attacking sides. I think it must have been great to watch, end-to-end stuff. Plenty of goalmouth incidents. So what I say to come to Plainmoor next week.
So Torquay's first home game this season, and the fans didn't have to wait long to see a goal. Justin Fashanu on target within 3 minutes for a 3-2 aggregate lead. Plainmoor buzzing, and in first half injury time, Adrian Foster's precision finish made it 2-0 on the night. Torquay easily in command. Really, though, it was Wes Saunders' evening, claiming the third despite the assist from Steve Devine. But no doubt this one was the skipper's, strong in defence and attack. To Davies, but that's easy for Saunders. Calls Derby towards him. Derby collects. Now Saunders again. A movie started. Saunders against the keeper. This will be a fantastic goal if he can put it away. Oh, what a fantastic goal from Wes Saunders! And the captain's penalty ended the rout, sealing an excellent team and personal performance.
It's been an absolutely great evening for us. First hat-trick in my career, and I can't explain how it feels. It's a really good feeling.
Now, your second goal in particular, you must wait a career for a goal like that.
Seeing Dwayne Darby played it to his feet and just carried me a run on. Went straight through the middle, Dwayne put it straight in front of us and put it on the keeper and slotted it in. And I mean, it was that simple, but it was a great feeling when I seen it go and hit the back of the net.
Meanwhile, more fireworks from Torquay, even if they did start like a damp squib. They fell behind to Doncaster's Eddie Gormley after 28 minutes and went 2 down just before half-time due to uncharacteristic sloth by Chris Myers. Peter Heritage, the scorer. After the break, though, Torquay were reborn. Paul Hall finding Justin Fashanu, and Fashanu hitting his 4th goal of the season. At the other end, young goalkeeper Matthew Lowe did his bit, a superb save coming up that kept United in the game. Well, when you're after that equaliser, you don't mind how they come. Chris Myers keeping cool in the melee to make it 2-2. And then, with 5 minutes to go, the winner, young Dwayne Darby, showing calmness beyond his years. 3-2, Torquay's first away win in the last 28 attempts. What a team.
At Bootham Crescent, Sean Joyce's trip on Paul Barnes put Torquay in trouble after 33 minutes. Nigel Pepper converting the penalty for the third division leaders. But the Devon side struck back before half-time with a real corker. Dwayne Darby setting himself up and unleashing a ferocious drive. York, though, took the honours 10 minutes from the end. Ray Warburton rising the highest to make it York City 2, Torquay 1.
In danger of...
Talk about, though not all, I'm afraid, for the good of the game. And that's a great shame, because there was plenty of skill to admire, especially from Torquay and especially from Paul Hall. Well, that was after 5 minutes. After 26 minutes, the first goal. Hall involved again, and the cross met by Justin Fashanu. From then on, though, the atmosphere changed. Always tense, at half-time, police moved in as Cardiff fans spilled onto the pitch. The ill temper was then reflected in the game. Fashanu, seemingly provoked, lashed out, sparking disgraceful scenes as, almost off-camera, substitute John Williams tangled with Torquay boss Paul Compton, who then exchanged heated words with Cardiff manager Eddie May. When order was restored, Torquay went further ahead. Dwayne Darby getting to Fashanu's knockdown for his 5th goal in 5 games. Cardiff did hit back, the shot coming in from Chris Pike and taking a deflection. 2-1 with 13 minutes left. Then the sad end to a bitter afternoon. Fashanu striking Williams with his elbow. He says it was accidental. On the slow motion, you can judge for yourself. Assistant manager Fashanu sent off. In the light of the incident last December that hospitalised John Uzell, he now faces a heavy fine from his own club.
Torquay's season is already taking a turn for the worst. The Gulls suffered a 1-0 defeat at Scarborough thanks to a 49th minute penalty. Chris Curran the culprit here as Foreman turns to shoot, and the Scarborough striker completed the job himself, sending Lowe the wrong way. But more worrying for United manager Paul Compton is the growing injury crisis. Somehow he must scrape a side together for tomorrow's home clash with Wrexham.
And in fact, he's moved to help the situation by signing Danny Salmon, the former Argyle defender. Salmon's on a 1-year contract and will make his debut in tomorrow's game. And news of Wes Saunders, he's having a knee operation and could be out for 5 weeks.
The world of new role with Torquay United. Salmon, released by Plymouth at the end of last season, has been signed by the Gulls to replace the injured Wes Saunders. And it's clear Torquay moved in quickly after reading about the player's plight in Saturday's Western Morning News.
I'm very realistic about football. The problem was I always felt as if I was going to come out of football on my own terms. But all of a sudden, things didn't quite happen to me at 1 or 2 clubs. I then went back to clubs that did want me, they already bought other players, and then I found myself on the heap, and it wasn't a very nice feeling at all. So, you know, that was the real world for me, and I didn't like it, no.
Clough.
It's 6:45 in the opposition dressing room at Playmore, and the Wrexham team are preparing for the big match. But note, please, viewers, the rather tasteful decor, a delicate shade of pink, and the way the calming ambience is lulling the Red Dragons into a false sense of security. They're calm, relaxed, and prepared for the battle ahead. But it's a different story in the brooding dark blue of the Torquay changing rooms.
All of a sudden you get a whack.
The players feel aggressive, motivated, completely receptive to the upbeat commands of manager Paul Compton. The name of the game is colour psychology.
It's interesting. Some people have their views on doing things differently, and if it works for Torquay, obviously they'll continue with it, but who knows? I think you can only assess this over a season, not early on, not after a couple of games.
This American lot evidently got some weightlifters and they dressed them in dark blue and worked them in a dark blue gymnasium and compared them with the same people dressed in pink in a pink gymnasium, and there's something like 15% difference in the amount of iron they could pump. So that's just a theory, but apart from that, we got all of some pink paint quite cheap as well, which rather helped.
Chairman Mike Bateson may jest, but Torquay are deadly serious about the whole thing. Unfortunately, it didn't show in last night's first half, with Wrexham looking the more positive side, and they took a deserved lead when their lively number 9 Carl Connolly out-jumped keeper Matthew Lowe. But 10 minutes back in the blue dressing room at half-time clearly did the trick for Torquay, who were a changed side after the break, with winger Paul Hall causing all kinds of problems. When it came, the equaliser was well worth waiting for. It's skipper Chris Myers cutting a swathe through the Wrexham defence and leaving Dwayne Darby with the easiest of chances. And that signalled a real onslaught on the Wrexham goal, but somehow the Welsh held on for the draw. Final score, Torquay 1, Wrexham 1, but the goal's unbeaten at Playmore since they got their paintbrushes out. It was the same score too at Playmore, where this first half goal by Adrian Foster separated the two sides. Trollope with the cross and Foster timing his header to perfection. The former West Brom man taking his chance in the absence of the injured Justin Fashanu. It was all too much for United's outspoken manager Paul Compton, who was sent from the dugout by referee Steve Dunn for coaching from the sidelines. Compton had the last laugh, though, reappearing after the break in the grandstand with tape plastered over his mouth. He probably had to stifle a shout when Adrian Foster hit a screaming shot against the upright as the goals dominated the second half. The striker was convinced it was a goal, and looking again at the slow-mo, I think he was dead right. Torquay 1, Northampton 0. Sure he was. Peter Brackley.
Here's Hoddle. And the brain was working overtime there. What a pass to Kerslake. Could be something on here with Maskell in the middle. Oh, it's a fabulous goal by Swindon. Look for the height of Sean Taylor in there. Calderwood this time has stayed back. And there is Taylor, and his header down towards Mitchell. Taylor again so instrumental, and off goes Mitchell. Swindon continuing to dictate the pace here, controlling this game. Ling, good skill. Ling again, and it's a third for Swindon. 2 goals inside a minute. Again for Taylor, there he is! A classic header. Salmon, oh, mistake by him, this is Mitchell. Now, is this going to be number 5? It is, steered in. The mistake by Dennis Salmon. Cross in towards White. Now that's number 6, Steve White.
I just had a chat with the chairman. I was wondering if we could cut our expenses and not turn up. But no, we're going to go for it. We'll go out and play attacking football, the only way the kids know how. And you never know, stupider things are known to happen in football. And we'll give it a good go.
They are mainly young lads. I mean, what lessons can they learn from tonight, do you think?
The way that Swindon passed the ball, the way Swindon ran off the ball, the way Swindon finished their chances, the final ball went in. Just mainly, it was just everything to do with football. I think I will get the tape and show them and probably distribute them to all the players and say, well, here's the lesson in football.
Well, Torquay out of the Coca-Cola unless there's a miracle at the county ground.
TSW midweek match sponsored by Mod Deck Windows, pleased to be associated with South West Sport.
Hello again, welcome to another TSW midweek match as we move into the second round of the Coca-Cola League Cup. The competition's still over 2 legs, of course, at the moment, and tonight we're featuring action from all 3 local clubs involved in the competition. We'll let Cliff sum it all up in song.
The young ones.
They call them the young ones, and Torquay United are currently living proof of the old adage, if they're good enough, they're old enough. But the Goals Youth policy gets the supreme test tonight as Glen Hoddle Swindon bring their unique brand of attacking soccer to Playmore. Our main game then here tonight on the midweek match.
Congratulations and celebrations.
Could well be in order if Exeter City can stem the Oldham goal machine and leave themselves with just a chance in the return leg at Boundary Park. Coverage of the Grecians' absorbing tie with the Latics coming up later.
We're all going on a summer holiday.
But it'll be no summer holiday for Plymouth Argyle tonight. Luton never an easy side to beat on their own ground, but the Pilgrims boosted by new signings Craig Skinner and Keith Hill, who joined the squad this morning on their journey to Kenilworth Road. We'll report and pictures on that tie coming up later, but let's get into the action. The main match this evening, of course, it's Torquay United against Swindon at Playmore. Our commentator, Peter Brackley.
An eagerly awaited night at Plainmoor, and a memorable one too off the field. The club's new £600,000 Elicum stand is open to supporters for the first time tonight. 1,400 seats and an impressive row of luxury private boxes. Well, the expertise of Torquay and England physio Norman Medhurst may yet prove a significant factor in this intriguing cup tie. Medhurst has been administering constant treatment on Dennis Salmon's injured ankle, and now the veteran defender, virtually ruled out at the weekend, has been declared fit to play. Well, even with his inclusion, this is still the youngest side in Torquay's history, average age just over 20. Saturday's match winner, Adrian Foster, keeps his place up front, with Justin Fashanu, Torquay's assistant manager, still suspended. Well, most of the team are products of the youth training scheme, perhaps the most exciting of them, winger Paul Hall, whose displays are being constantly monitored by the bigger clubs. Not one single fee was paid out for a Torquay player. In contrast, Swindon's squad has cost more than £1 million to assemble. It's a stylish side, modelled not surprisingly on Glenn Hoddle's beliefs. Hoddle himself is the sweeper in an attacking formation with two other former Tottenham players, John Moncur and Mickey Hazard, helping to provide the service for strikers Dave Mitchell and leading goalscorer Craig Maskell. Hoddle at 34, still a master of the telling pass. And Swindon's approach tonight, he says, will be the same as always. We play to win. Well, there's the man in charge tonight. It's Paul Vaines. So away we go then in this Coca-Cola second round first leg tie. Swindon in the all-red strip and attacking the goal to our right. And I don't think any spectators tonight will be advised to leave before the end. If Swindon's record this season is any guide, in 7 of their 9 games, they've conceded goals in the last 5 minutes. And it's all down, says Glenn Hoddle, to a lack of concentration. And they will certainly find a Torquay side tonight full of enthusiasm and full of running. This is Dave Mitchell now for Swindon. Good movement here from Moncur. The early flourish from Swindon. Ling with the cross in. And the flag's up for offside. But already Swindon's passing game very much to the fore. And they will certainly have to keep an eye on this fellow, Craig Maskell, who scored 7 times already this season. Came in the close season from Reading. Free header for Ling. And a mix-up at the back then, Salman with Darren Moore. And Torquay have got away with it. It goes Kerslake, and we're sure to see him bursting down the flanks in this attacking formation adopted by Swindon. Now, Colcombe. Trollope. And no one will be more anxious rather to impress than John Trollope's son, Paul Trollope, because John, of course, is the coach at Swindon Town. Paul here, a former Swindon player. Moncur, now here's Glenn Hoddle. The first of his elegant touches of the night. Mickey Hazard. Chris Myers, though, hustling it out of it well. Moncur's won it back, and the break is on here for Swindon. Away goes Mitchell. They've got 3 up here, Swindon. And away for the corner. And the warning signs were certainly there for Torquay, and this young and very inexperienced side are in for a very stern examination, I'm sure, tonight. Paul Bowden chopping over to take this corner kick. Colin Calderwood and Sean Taylor both come up for the back, 2 big central defenders. Very dangerous on set pieces. This is Maskell. Now Burden. Torquay can't get it away. And in the end, it all dies down as Maskell shoots over the bar.